Merry Christmas.
Hello and welcome to the Wheel of Horror 12 Days of Christmas edition. This is our first of 12 episodes that we will be doing every day for Christmas films from the 13th of December all the way up until Christmas Day. Today we are talking about the 2003 film Elf, which was directed by Jon Favreau. I am your co-host Alec.
And I'm Erik.
And this is, essentially the exact same thing we did in October for the horror movies for Halloween. We are doing the same with Christmas movies leading up to Christmas Day. That was decided by the evil Wheel of Horror, which is making them do this.
Yeah, ho, 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 everybody. Very excited to do 12 Days of Christmas. Because you know what? Why not? Let's just do it. Let's have fun.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, just to be completely honest and transparent with everybody, you are a much bigger Christmas film fan than I am. So
Me?
I think you are, yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I would say so. I love Muppet Christmas Carol. Whenever we hit that on the wheel, I'm so excited for Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I mean, obviously, it's pretty hard to not like Christmas movies, but, like, for me, it's definitely, like, a very limited time of year that I wanna watch these or really think about these.
Well, because you're a Scrooge. You're a big old Scrooge.
You know what?
You're a Grinchy mixed Scrooge. That's what you are.
I'm not gonna deny that. I'm really not.
I think everyone is this year. I'm just like 2020 needs to end, and Christmas is a good cap to this year. Just end it.
Yeah, no, and again, I like Christmas movies, I do, but, I'm a horror man at heart.
You're a hoa man at heart.
I'm a horror man at heart. Yeah, I don't know, I like scary movies and drama and stuff like that, but I do obviously, you gotta watch Christmas movies when it's almost Christmas. I mean, come on,
Yeah, 12 days worth of them too. Let's do it.
Alright, so today we're starting with Elf from 2003, which was directed by Jon Favreau, which is actually awesome because The Mandalorian's out right now, and that's
Oh, dude, guy's slaying, dude. The guy's a savage when it comes to making awesome movies and now shows.
Well, he did Iron Man. That was kind of his baby, is the Iron Man trilogy, and then also obviously Mandalorian. He did Swingers. That you ever see that movie with Vince Vaughn? You ever see that?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
That was like his big first movie. Yeah, and he's a very versatile actor, director, everything. Yeah, he's great. He did The Lion King too. He did the Lion King remake.
Yep, Jungle Book as well.
This guy's doing well.
Yeah, this guy's doing good in the Disney world. He's got Avengers. He's got Star Wars under his belt now. Dude's killing it.
Yeah, but
it's crazy.
This is what? So this came out 17 years ago. You know what? I've never thought I'd ever say this about a movie. This is a cute movie.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's actually, I think the screenplay, I was reading up about this. The screenplay has been around since 1993. So this screenplay has been tossed around. Jon Favreau, I don't think he wrote it, but he was slated to direct it. Originally, they wanted Jim Carrey to play Elf.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Will Ferrell, I don't know, maybe Jim Carrey would be good back in the 90s, but like, I don't know, Will Ferrell brings a youthful twist to it. It's youthful and fun, and I think it's more Will Ferrell's realm, I guess. Just like silly, like I'm stupid as well. Like Jim Carrey, his characters are zany and crazy, but they're not stupid.
You know, I watched this too because I probably haven't seen this movie honestly since it probably came out or right around there. And there's one actor the whole time I was watching it that I was like, you know what, he would have been perfect. Is Chris Farley.
I was thinking that too, dude. I was thinking that just seeing a fat Chris Farley in the elf tights and stuff, and just like all sweaty, like, wow, man, world's best cup of coffee, like just freaking out, man. Like,
well, the line where the security guards are dragging him out, and he's like, "Wow, you guys are strong." Like it sounded like a Chris Farley line, kind of, and you know, when he's like, "Oh, can you give my dad the gift?" And you know, you guys, "Oh, wow, you guys are really strong," and like push him out, and I'm like, for some reason, I just saw Chris Farley in that line, and I was like, but you know what? He did Beverly Hills Ninja, and this is kind of...
Yeah, it's kind of similar.
Yeah, like he gets raised by this like ninja temple and then goes to LA, but in this one, he's just a Christmas elf that goes to New York. So, you know, fish out of water sort of thing.
Like, we're gonna be buddies, Dad. We're gonna be pals. We're gonna eat snow cones. We're gonna hang out. Like he's freaking out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because I heard that Jim Carrey, he actually ended up doing The Grinch. So I think,
yep.
So that's why they were like, nah, you do that. But you know what? Will Ferrell does do a good job. This is very, he commits so hard, and I think that's why it really works. There's no cynicism in anything he does. It's genuine curiosity, genuine, like, wide-eyed wonder in every line delivery, and, yeah, I think him fully committing, I think really it is good for him. Like, he did a great job.
Yeah, yeah. I just love this movie. I think Ed Asner plays a perfect Santa, just like a perfect like older version of Santa. Papa Elf was great. One of my favorite scenes in this is when he like finds out he's a human. He's like, if he hasn't found out he's a human yet, and like he goes and runs off. He's like, not now, and like hides in the bathroom. And it's like it reminds me of the scene from Teen Wolf. When he's like, oh, he's turning into a werewolf. It's time to have the talk with him.
Yeah.
And like, except Will Ferrell's like 40 years old and like finding this out, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, why don't you come out and we'll talk?" And
You
it's
know
like,
what
what? It's so good. It's so good.
well, it reminded me of The Jerk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even better. Even a better example
Yeah, when
right
he's just
there.
like, "You
Yeah.
mean I'm gonna stay this color forever?" He finds out on his
He's like
birthday that
he's
he's
like 40.
yeah, that he's, like, 40 and he's white and he's adopted. But
Yeah, just
but
like
yeah,
that.
this follows a very classic fish out of water guy that wants to find where he's from sort of thing because he doesn't feel like he belongs, like, you see him with the elves where he's like, "I'm the worst one here," like, and the elves are nice though, like, they're all trying to be like, "You can sing baritone in our choir," like, they try to give him genuine
You
compliments,
could
why
change the batteries in our smoke detectors in 6 months. You don't have to
yeah.
do it again.
Right. So they're not being like dicks to him, like they're trying. But yeah, Ed Asner. Actually, this is one thing I want to ask you because you said about him as Santa Claus. Since we're going to be watching so many Christmas movies, I think we should nominate who we think is the best Santa moving.
I like that. I
So
like that.
so Ed Asner, yeah, he was a good one. The one
Hmm.
thing that he did that I didn't like is is when he crash landed in Central Park. He like takes out like a knife and he's like, "Back off!" Like
The- Very un-Santa like.
yeah, that was a little, I was like, "Whoa." I wasn't expecting that. But I think at the end of this, we should name who we think actually, after watching all of these Christmas movies, who we think the actual best Santa was.
Yeah, like Tim Allen. Go see who plays a good Santa.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton. He might have to win it, dude. He might have to win it.
But yeah,
Um,
because the Christmas movies, there's gonna be a lot of similarities in a lot of these, so I think we should try to, like, I don't know,
yeah.
pinpoint, like, who do we think has the best Santa impression?
I would love to do that. Let's plan on that. Another thing Ed Asner does that I like is when Buddy talks to Leon the snowman, and Leon's like telling him like, I was a cumulus cloud traveling around the world. I saw everything and trying to like smooth talk him and make him feel like you're gonna be just fine, buddy.
Mm.
He's like, let me tell you a thing or two, and then he goes in to see Santa, and Santa's like, don't listen to Leon. Like Leon doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Like I've been to New York City, and it's a like like
Uh,
Leon doesn't know shit. Like I love that part where like he's like, don't he's a snowman. He doesn't even have any feet. He's not going anywhere. Like
well, he's the same snowman from, the Rudolph, the old
yep,
Rudolph thing.
yep.
That was
So
cool.
good.
I like that. Were those little, like, not narwhals or whatever those things were that were like, "Bye, buddy," like, when he's leaving? Those are from that too, right?
I think it's very similar, and I think Buddy's costume is based off of those old like Christmas classics like Rudolph and whatever other ones. Like Santa Claus is coming to town. All
Yeah.
those old movies, claymation style.
Mhm. I love those. Those are
Those are classic. We should have had one of those on the wheel, but the wheel, it decides. That we don't decide.
it's an evil I mean, it's deciding to make us watch this stuff, so,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
the one thing about this movie, like, I think it's shot really well, I think the characters commit, I think it's a cute idea, everything like that, but the pacing of this movie is weird. He doesn't get to New York for about half an hour, so
Hmm.
it's a short movie, it's an hour and a half. So a third of the movie, he's not even in New York. Then he gets there. His dad is a douchebag the entire fricking movie. And then
Yeah.
right at the end, he's just like, "You know what? Up yours," and, like, walks out, and then he's a good guy, and I was like, "That's no, they gave us one little short scene where he's, like, holding his face at the desk, and he's like, 'I am an asshole,' and then, like, everything just changes, and I was like, no, no, this movie's too short for there not it doesn't have a good, like, beginning, middle, and end. I feel like they just cram everything into the beginning and then cram everything into the end, and the middle's kind of just, like, a convoluted mess."
I get what you're saying. Like it's a little sloppy, disjointed in some ways, but I think it paces well. And I mean, I think a lot of the one-liners get in there that want to get in there. I mean, it feels like they have dinner a few times. They have breakfast, and There's a lot of like slow parts, but I think they just wanted to squeeze in all the best jokes in an order.
Mm,
It felt like.
yeah. No, okay, yeah, I mean, you're right. No, I think it's more about the conflict and the resolution between the dad and Buddy. I feel like that feels very forced, and there wasn't a lot of
Well, yeah, James Caan, he's got his wife's telling him like you need to spend more time with your kid. There's that. Then
right.
his son makes him feel like, come on, Dad, like we're gonna go hang out on Christmas, and he's like, like he's got all this pressure, and then finally something just clicks on him. He's just like, you know what, up yours, like you said. So I guess feels a little forced, and he doesn't have his aha moment. He just like
No.
flips, he flips.
There's nothing, it's just all of a sudden what, he just yells at his son, he's like, "Wow, that was mean."
Yeah,
I
pretty much.
but here's the thing, in the real world, this is what's gonna happen to this guy. So, what the hell's his name? James Caan, Walter Hobbs. So what's gonna happen is he just quit his job, okay? And he's also taking on another son who has no real world skills. So now Buddy is living with them, who's this unemployed guy who's got 2 kids and a wife.
At the end of the movie, he has the book. He has a good,
Oh, that's
great book
right.
idea. He has the elf idea, and it starts the book. And then
But
Buddy is his son that goes around and reads the book to all the kids and stuff.
But he didn't know that. So he quit his job thinking, "Wow, I'm unemployed and I have another son now who can't get a job because he doesn't know how to do anything besides eat
Uh,
spaghetti with friggin'
yeah,
syrup."
syrup. Yeah.
So it's like, in his mind, he's like, "Hey, honey, I just, lost my job and, Buddy's moving in."
I mean, he looks like he's at the age of retirement. So I was just like, you know what? At that age, quit your job.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think his character is just all around a bad guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean, he's taking books away from the orphanage. He's like, but the children love the books, and he's like, I don't care. You missed your payment. You got to pay if you want the
yeah.
books.
And then his entire 180 is being like, "I yelled at my son, that was mean. I'm gonna do something about myself."
Yeah.
I think, like, James Caan's character should have used Buddy to inspire the writing for the books, like, during the movie. He'd be like, "Oh, there's this great place, like, in the North Pole, you've got all these cool things," and he's like, "Whoa, wait, wait, wait. What did you just say?" It's like, "Yeah, Santa, like, does this at the North Pole," and he's just like, "Huh, that's a good idea for a book," and then start
Yeah.
using Buddy to inspire Christmas stories for kids. That could have brought them together, sort of thing. I thought that's what was gonna happen.
I mean, it kind of does. Like he tells the whole
No,
story about going. He does the Buddy the Elf goes from the North Pole to the big city. He
that's
goes through the Lincoln Tunnel, through the Gumdrop Forest. He does it all.
yeah, okay, but what I'm saying is they just take that and cram that all in at the end. What I'm saying is
They kind of awesome it. Like, hey, buddy, tell me more about what Santa does. Like, what does he
that's
do?
what I
What does he
think.
do? Like,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
I think they should have done that in the middle of the movie, have the dad be like, "I'm gonna lose my job because I can't come up with a new, idea," but then Buddy is maybe telling, like, the son, James Caan's brother or whatever, being like, "Hey, in the North Pole, we actually do this," and then the dad could be like, "Wait, wait, wait, what did you just say?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, this is what we do up at the North Pole." And he's like, "You're not really from the North Pole." He's like, "Dad, I really am." And then they build a bond, having Buddy explain North Pole stories, and then the dad, being a book publisher or whatever, publishes these stories, and then it brings them together and they save Christmas. What the hell?
yeah. That feels like a little too dot connected, like linear almost. It's
So
almost
what's
too
better?
perfect.
What's better? Having him just be like, "I yelled at my son and that was mean." And then at the end, as the credits are rolling, they're like, "And he published a book about the movie you just watched."
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what happened. I mean, yeah, you feel like that could have been the plot point, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know. So I was a little
You sound upset. You sound
I'm
unhappy.
no, 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 no. I'm being, you know what? Halfway through this movie, I made a decision. I was like, you know what? I'm not a huge Christmas guy fan, and I'm gonna go and watching all of these very non-critically, I think. I'm just gonna watch these genuinely just to be like, I'm here to enjoy things. Suspension
Hmm.
of disbelief doesn't just let's have fun.
Yeah. I was thinking while watching this, I was like, okay, this is definitely the last Christmas classic I can think about. And this came out in what, 2003, you said?
Yes. So
2002?
we were 13. We were 13 when this movie
13?
came out.
This
Yeah.
is the last Christmas classic. Like when you think of like movies you're gonna try to show your kids someday. This is the last one I can really think of. I mean, obviously
Well,
there's like more adult films like The Holiday, Love Actually, Bad Santa. Polar
those all
Express was 2004, but that to me, I wasn't in love with Polar
nah.
Express. And that's more of a book. And then A Christmas Carol, the one with Jim Carrey in 2009, didn't really do it for me.
Wait, what? I didn't even know about that one.
You never seen that? It's all like CGI.
Huh.
It's very like Beowulf. Robert
Uh,
Zemeckis did it, I think.
I don't even know.
Um, yeah, it didn't do it for me, and I feel like this movie, it's like, man, this is the last real classic, I think, that came out from Christmas movies that I can think. I can't think of any other one.
You know, a lot of them after this were like that Love Actually thing where they all tried to do like, "We're like, there's no magic, we're just a family, and it's Christmas," like, sort of thing. Like, it didn't have characters like The Grinch did or this
Mhm.
movie. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean,
There's not a lot of solid banger Christmas movies that came out and knocked it out of the park, that for me at least.
the Santa Claus, yeah, that was in the '90s, Jingle All the
Mhm.
Way, Home Alone.
96.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of people really love this movie. A lot of people still talk about it and, like, especially that scene where it's like, "Santa!" and he's, like, yelling or whatever, like, people love that shit. Um,
Yeah. It's also a post 9/11 movie in the city too, and
mm,
Christmas, and it's very uplifting and, spreading Christmas cheer for all to hear. And it's a good uplifting movie needed for the times, I think, for Christmas too. So,
yeah, and it's funny because I was watching it, living in New York for, like, 7 years, watching it from a 2003 lens. It really doesn't look that much different from 2003 until, a couple years ago. It looks about the same. The
cell
main
phones are the only thing you can really like tell difference in movies,
Well,
you know.
it just I don't know. It felt about the same as it did in like 16 as it did in 2003. It didn't look drastically different. Whatever that store he goes into, that doesn't exist anymore. I know that.
Gimbals, yeah, Gimbals or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that was at a Macy's store or something now, or gone
Uh,
now.
I don't know. I just know that's not real, or isn't there anymore. But yeah, it's funny when they send Buddy to New York, they don't give him any directions or anything. They're just like, "Here's a snow globe," and
Big building. Like,
yeah,
there you go.
like, that one big building in New York City. It's like, okay.
He finds it.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna ask you, do you think elves they must have, like, a pretty good sense of our culture. They have to.
Our toys.
But they've gotta know why we like the toys that we like, or they have to like, know about us and, like, study us kind of.
Well, I think they don't know much about us. They just know that there's naughty humans and there's nice humans,
But
and we're
they need to
making
know
toys for the nice ones.
but they need to know why we're naughty, why we're nice.
I think Santa knows that more than the elves.
And the elves
Because
don't have to.
the elves are still in the North Pole. They don't really get out much. Neither did Buddy. Buddy never got out. I don't think Papa Elf really did either. But Santa, he's the one who's like, no, don't listen to Leon, don't listen to the elves. Like, New York is a dangerous place. He tries to like give him a little couple pointers, like, don't take this cab. Like, don't, he's trying to give him like some quick tips. It's like, don't go to the peep shows. Don't do that. Like,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of, I don't think that the elves really know. They just know how to make toys. They're really good at it.
I know, I kinda wish I saw because it would kinda ruin it for Buddy. He'd be like, "Wait, am I like Tom Cruise or something? Like, I'm not like you guys. I'm one of them." Yeah, so I guess
Yeah.
maybe. The one scene that really it's after living in New York. When you live in New York, if you were to see a guy like Buddy walking down the street that you wouldn't even blink, you'd be like, "Okay, that guy's just whatever. He's just
Oh
dressing
yeah.
himself today." You wouldn't even if that happened in Connecticut, you'd be like, "Whoa, what's wrong with that guy?" But in the city, you see that every day.
In
But
Santa cons especially, you see people dressed like Buddy the
well,
Elf, just
yeah, but
terrorizing the city.
it could be July 5th, and I could see a guy walking down the street dressed like Buddy, and I'd just be like, "Another day." But
Just another day.
it is pretty funny when he walks into that coffee shop place, and the reaction is so genuine from Buddy, where he's like, "Wow!" Like, "Wow!" And even being a New Yorker, seeing that, you'd probably be like, "Okay, wait, is that guy fucking with us? Like, is that guy being, like,
Well,
really
then it cuts to the people, like, behind the counter, and they're just look exhausted, and they just look like they don't have it in them to even react,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that was so but, like, I'm imagining being a New Yorker and seeing that, you'd be like, I can't tell if that was, like, the best sarcasm in the world or if that guy's, like, because it's so, like,
it's very genuine, yeah.
yeah, and you'd be like, "Alright, this guy is an asshole dressed like an elf," but then the way he acts
Feel like someone would be like, "Thank you, you wanna buy one?" Like,
yeah, yeah, maybe. The thing that made me actually laugh out loud, though, is the music's playing, it's just like, "When you're in New York," and then all of a sudden he, like, walks across the street and just gets hit by that cab,
yeah, yeah,
and he's
that
just like
happens.
no, but it's so funny because he's like, "Oh," he's like, "Sorry, sorry," and, like, he like, it's
That
his
was
fault because he doesn't know, like, anything.
Well, there's another scene where it's clearly Will Ferrell walking across the street to go pick up his brother, and he almost gets hit again, and that was like a legit stunt if that was real, because that cab almost really hit him going at least 10 miles an hour.
Well, he did get hit.
that was probably a stuntman because that was
Oh,
from
oh.
behind.
Oh, oh, oh.
That was from behind, but the other one of him walking towards the camera like,
Mm,
"Hey, Michael, it's your brother," and he's, like,
yeah,
running towards him, like, right before the snowball fight. If you look at that, he almost gets destroyed by that cab, and I wonder
yeah.
if that was a true stunt or how they shot that.
Yeah. Nah,
'Cause he
dude.
had to, like, jump out of the way. I was like,
Nah,
"Holy crap," like, you
100%.
almost just broke Will Ferrell's knees right there.
No, it was staged, man. They when they're filming in New York, they shut down the block that they're filming on.
True, but, like, yeah, even the car looked like it was close to hitting him
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
No, yeah, yeah, no, they definitely did a good job, but that's yeah, they're not gonna be like, "Alright, let's just have more crush you right now."
I love there's so many parts of this movie I love, but I love that scene in the mailroom where, he's with that guy who's drinking, and he's like, "Hey,
Yeah,
you want a little syrup?" And then he just and
yeah.
then there's the scene where he's like, "You gotta get out of the flow, man." It's like, "I'm trying to, man. That's the problem. I've been in the flow." He's like, "I'm 26 years old." It's like, dude, that guy is not
Yeah,
26.
yeah, yeah. He's
I
like,
looked it up. He was 46 filming it, but I love that they kept that. Like, dude, I'm 26. Like, he's like, dude, like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. It's just like, is he this is, like, clearly a joke, like, but
that's why it's so funny. If
yeah.
you're a kid watching that, you might not catch it. But like
No.
me watching this, I'm like, did he just say he's 26? The guy looks like. I love it. I love
Yeah.
that, and then there's also the receptionist at the beginning when
Mhm.
Buddy first comes to Walter Hobbs's building and is about to do the telegram or whatever, and she's on the phone with somebody. She's like, "Oh, I've never declawed cat. You have 8 cats. 8? Well, bring them by the camper." Like, she's so poor, she lives in a camper, and that's how shitty she's paid.
Yeah.
Like, and she's declawing cats for, like, extra money, like.
Yeah, no, seriously, there are a couple jokes that I'm like, this is for the adults that are like, ugh."
Yeah.
Pixar's good at that. Pixar's good at, like, putting in those kinda jokes. Yeah, this had a couple moments like that. The Zoe Deschanel character, like, does she must have some, like, adult kinda humor too.
I don't really hear too much of it from her.
Yeah, she was pretty, like, miserable in this movie.
She's not really the happiest person, yeah.
No, I
But
mean,
she spreads the Christmas cheer for everyone to hear or whatever,
ooh,
sings loud at the
that
end.
singing part, that was awkward. That was cringeworthy to watch.
Yeah.
That was
She's,
like
like,
I was
singing by herself in front of, like, 100 people and the
and
news
then
crews are running.
the stepmom, Mary Steenburgen or whatever, she, like, when she's singing is kinda like, "Ooh, here we go," like, sort of thing, and then everyone slowly gets into it, but, like, yeah, that scene, I was like, "Oh," I'm, like, uncomfortable looking at the TV when I was watching that scene.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got that too. It was a little like, awkward.
Yeah.
But sequel ideas. I mean, obviously we've heard about Elf 2 was supposed to start filming or supposed to move forward in 2012, 2013, but
Mm,
Will Ferrell was a big fat I'm not doing this movie.
really?
He was so against it,
Really?
and I think it had a lot to do with like I don't want to wear those tights again. It's embarrassing enough.
That's
Like,
not why.
well, I mean, Google it. There's that, but there's also James Caan had a radio show recently where he went on and said John Favreau and Will Ferrell do not get along,
Oh, okay.
and that was a big factor. Is John Favreau was going to direct it still, and Will Ferrell's like, no, I'll do it if it's another director.
Okay.
Or so there's a lot of that, but we don't need an Elf two. We don't. We don't.
No,
Watch Elf. You don't need an
it's
Elf two.
like
You
Zoolander 2 or Anchorman 2 or Super Troopers 2 or, uh,
Yeah, do we want a watered down Elf? Do we
no.
really need it? And like, what would the sequel be? Do you have an idea for a sequel? I got a couple like crappy ones,
The
but
only I mean, because it ends with, for some reason, Zoe Deschanel's like, "I'm gonna marry and sleep with this guy and move to the North Pole."
and they have a baby named
Yeah.
Susie.
That's so dumb, but sure. It could be about maybe Susie being like, "I don't belong here," and
Yeah, and
then
you can just see who it would be like. What's her name? Fat Amy from Pitch Perfect. Rebel Wilson. Yeah, she'd be Susie. And it's like, oh, here we go. Like, just straight up funny, crappy jokes and just like watered down Elf. And it's
yeah,
just like that movie Noelle that just came out on Disney Plus, and that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I don't know.
It
I
felt
mean,
like it was like,
here's the thing. I don't think this was ever intended to do as well as it did. So I think, like, yeah, just leave it as it is. Like, you kind of captured lightning in a bottle, sort of. I mean, I'm not like being like, "Oh my god, you haven't seen Elf," like slapping people, but like, it's a good Christmas
I would,
movie.
I would. I mean, you got if you got to see Elf That should be top of the Christmas movies to watch. If you haven't seen it, so you have to watch Elf.
Oh,
You
okay,
have never seen
wow.
Elf?
I
Really?
I wouldn't.
Really?
This wouldn't even be in my top 5 for sure.
Wow.
I
It'd be top 10 for me. Top 10
I
definitely.
don't even know if it'd be in my top 10.
Really? Dude, this movie, oh, come on. This is
I
like one of the better newer Christmas
Yeah,
movies.
one of the better newer ones for sure, but I mean, there's plenty of amazing ones from, like, the '70s, '80s, and '90s that I'd much rather watch.
You can't get a kid to sit down and watch Charlie Brown Christmas these days. They can't focus on that movie.
I bet you'd be surprised that you'd have trouble getting a 13-year-old to watch this nowadays.
Really? I don't know.
A
Yeah,
13-year-old?
dude, we're so cynical. Listen to us.
I don't know, because I don't have kids or anything, but, like, I feel like when I was 13, I thought I was too old for this movie.
Really?
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
man. I
I
mean,
had
well, I
no
was too old for it, but, like, it was still awesome. It was
You know what?
funny to quote.
I feel bad, man. It's like this you're gonna hate this. This and SpongeBob are, like, 2 things that I felt like I was a generation too old for, even though I was the prime demographic. I genuinely think I'm like, SpongeBob
Mm,
seemed childish
that
to me, and so did this.
SpongeBob came out in 2000, 99?
Yeah, and even then, I was just like, "I feel like I'm too old for this." And
Yeah, I felt that way too. I mean,
that's how I feel about Elf too. I was always like, "I feel like I'm a little too old for this," but a lot of people our age still love this movie. You do.
I love this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna shit on it because it's not a bad movie, but I love Will Ferrell, and I mean, it's just not one that I'd write home about. It's not one that I'm gonna be
Okay.
Home Alone is, I think, like, that's a fantastic Christmas
Yeah.
movie,
Yeah.
but this is timeless. There's nothing about this movie that's like, "That's a 2000s movie." Like, this you would enjoy this no matter what. It's kind of like Home Alone in that regard.
I just remember the first time I've seen this movie and when he tells the mall manager who's like doing the Santa workshop and the
Yeah,
photos,
yeah,
and he's like, "All right, buddy, 10 a.m. Santa Claus is coming to town," and then Will Ferrell freaks out. That
yeah,
one, like that is, dude, that is so fucking funny.
yeah.
That first reaction where he just screams like, and like he looks at him like, "Really, dude?" Like.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier that people, like, when they see that, they still flip out and think it's, like, the funniest thing.
I think that scene's awesome. But sequel-wise, I would also think Buddy is in charge of putting together like a Christmas celebration party for when Santa finishes his trip around the world, and maybe something happens where Santa's sleigh doesn't work and Buddy has to save the day, but also throw the party, and the party sucks at the end of the movie. I thought would be really funny. I don't know.
Wait, what if what here we go, now you're getting me.
I
What
see
if
it. This is why we do this.
'Cause Santa's technically a human, right?
Yeah, and Ed Asner's still alive. I don't know if he would be able to play this role.
Ed
He'd
Asner's
be really, yeah,
150
dude.
years old.
Yeah, dude, he can't do this. But
No.
yeah, it'd be good to see him
I
do it
looked it
again.
up, man, I was, like, guaranteed Bob Newhart's dead, looked it up, not dead.
He's still alive, right? He's the same
Guaranteed.
age as Ed Asner.
Yeah, they are. I looked them all up, I was like, "I bet he's dead," looked it up, still kicking. Ed Asner, bet he's dead, looked him up, 90.
Kicking, man,
I was
kicking.
like, "I bet James Caan's dead," looked him up, nope, doing alright. No, but here's a sequel idea. Okay, so Santa's a human, right?
Yep,
Buddy's a human.
yep.
Santa's dying. Buddy's a human. Buddy could be the new Santa.
Oh my god, yeah. Buddy is the new
Who
Santa,
else would
and
it be?
yeah,
Buddy's a human, he knows all the secrets of the North Pole, he's not good enough to make toys, but maybe he's good enough to deliver toys.
yeah, yeah. It could be good. It's just like the Santa Claus with Will Ferrell
But
at that
Santa
point.
Claus, I don't really remember it that well, but
Oh, dude, you're
he
gonna love
wasn't
that one.
raised at the North Pole or anything.
No,
Yeah,
no.
so, Jon Favreau, you got my number, give me a call.
An elf, an elf turning into Santa sounds like meant to be, and he's a human. Good point.
He's a human. I wanna know too, James Caan and, like, his, like, hippie wife or whatever, you see that one picture, it's like, wow, like, he looks like he used to be a cool guy, now he's, like, the biggest douchebag in the entire New York City.
He's the perfect cast for it because he's like his blood pressure is just high enough to snap on this elf character.
There's just
And like there's not enough of that. I wanted to see like more angry, super Italian, like bring out what's his name, Sonny from The Godfather more, like
he's not
slap him.
Italian.
What? It's James Caan?
James Caan's Jewish.
I thought he was Italian. Wasn't he in The Godfather? He's Sonny.
Yeah, they just made him
Yeah, that's what
Italian.
I'm saying. Like I want that
Oh.
the aura.
You want that Jew playing the Italian.
Yeah, that's what I want, I guess. Yeah, sure. Count it.
I like that actor, but there's no redeeming qualities in him in this, so you're like, I guess that's what Scrooge is too, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Scrooge is
Scrooge.
maybe it's just 'cause it's modern, but maybe if I, like, saw it in the 1800s, I would've been like, "Wow, Scrooge is such an asshole," but now I'm like,
You're
"Scrooge."
gonna love him up at Christmas Carol, man. I'm telling you.
I
You're gonna be blown away.
Hey, I actually do like that movie,
Yeah.
but, Oh, here's the other thing I want to ask you too. I think we should start doing this because these movies, why don't we
You
give
wanna
this? Each of us at the end of each episode, we'll give it a 1 out of 10 snowflakes.
1 out of 10 snowflakes?
What do you think, Eric?
I mean, out of everything else on the wheel, if we were to rate it as like,
No. You can just rate it like I give this
I'd,
Christmas movie blank out of 10.
I'd give it an 8.3.
Wow.
8.3.
Okay.
For creativity, being a modern Christmas movie, the humor's hilarious, inventive at the time, I think. I would give it an 8.3. Yeah.
Wow.
Quotability. Like, I love the quotes from this movie.
I'm gonna give it a solid 7.
Okay.
I'm
Rookie score. Is that okay?
I don't think
You don't even add decimals in it, dude? Come on.
Low 7. I don't know, 7.3, 7.2.
Okay. That's better.
I don't dislike this movie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really wasn't like, yes, I get to watch Elf tonight. But then when it was over, I was like, it's better than I remember. I think it starts off strong and then just it's a downward hill from there. Like
Music's great too. Bum bum
yeah,
bum bum bum. Oh, dude, it's all around fun. It's a good movie.
I like the music. I think it starts off really strong and then it just once he gets to New York, I think it's good, and then from there it just keeps going. And the ending, I really don't like the ending.
No, it's not as existential for you. Is that the problem? It's not like
I need there to be a message,
okay.
Like, this
All right.
wasn't about world poverty or about ending war, that wasn't like
It's not as Donnie Darko for you.
right.
It's
I
not
needed
like
some sort of like ambiguous time travel, something.
you need the fan theories and fan fiction. Okay, I
Well,
gotcha.
when Buddy broke that ice cube to start floating, like I wanted that to cause a chain reaction and like
Bye,
Thailand.
buddy.
Yeah.
Hope you find your dad.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's John Favreau's voice too. Plays
right.
Mr. Narwhal.
He's the doctor too.
He also drew the picture of the elf on the card.
Well, good for John.
I'm just saying he's very involved.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, I think that's about all we got.
We gotta spin the wheel.
Merry Christmas.
Oh my god, dude! When they're singing that song, "Baby, it's cold outside," that song's fucked.
Yeah, come on, don't get into that right now.
All right.
That's a whole nother. It's 2003, Alec. Come on, grow up.
That's true. That's
a different time.
Things were different back.
Things were different. All right, ready and spinning the wheel. Bum 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 bum. Yes. Ernest Saves Christmas.
Oh boy.
This one hits, man.
We got Mike Valenti as a special guest for that one.
Yes, huge Ernest fan or Ernest expert, and he was begging me to watch this one. So
great.
Can't wait for it to have him on this one.
All right. Well, okay. Well, we will see you guys tomorrow. Oh wow! Holy God, tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, we gotta watch this.
Ernest Saves Christmas.